Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video and hope you guys are doing well today. Now, I want to first apologise before we get into anything else, and I'm currently at my parents' house at the moment. I'm working off just a laptop, and last night during raid progress or beta progress, my laptop crashed and corrupted 2.5 hours worth of content and footage. So not ideal. So I've taken a lot of the content just to show you some of our kind of best pulls and things like that from Riggs, who's our main tank. So I hope you guys don't mind that. I hope he doesn't mind that. Go and check him out on Twitch. I think he's going to be streaming a lot more with like our raid progress and things like that. But yeah, so generally last night it confirmed a couple of things for us. So the first thing it confirmed is that we are getting post-nerf bosses. So they are going to be a little bit easier. However, I have heard that they are willing to look at Firelands in terms of a difficulty level depending on where the community sits. So that's something that's a little bit of a compromise. It's kind of the opposite compromise of... No, that's what I actually said in my video. I'm claiming it. Anyway, so we started with Magmaw. We had one person who stepped in for us who was playing in Ellie Shami, which is great, but not the hunter that we probably wanted for the comp. And we realised very late that the rogue in the group was actually playing combat, not assassination, so we didn't have the 13% spell damage buff. And it made things a little bit more difficult, but generally we went in and some of these people had never seen Heroic Magmaw, so we were expecting it to be a bit of a prog. Within about 10 pulls, we started getting to him to a consistent point of being able to, get him to kind of that 30% phase, and that's where the fight really starts, because once you get past that first mangle, you start going through that rotation of mangle into parasites, into big ad, into mangle burn phase, and you just repeat those kind of processes. We had 2 pulls where we got him below like 10%. One of them I think was like a 4 or 5% wipe. Generally it was a lot easier than I was expecting when we did Magma on the private servers. Again, it was around 50% more health and damage in total, so a lot. It was very, very difficult. We just wouldn't have done it in the gear we were in. We did end up 3 healing, which is it was one of the fights I was expecting us to have to 3 heal. So I played Resto Shaman, having just the healing range to get through kind of the intense range raid damage, really. The tank didn't really seem to be... Oh, that's annoying. The tank didn't really seem to suffer too much from taking damage. The mangles didn't really seem to affect him all too much, but generally he did okay. I mean, the whole raid, we did well for not seeing the fight, for going in. 10-man is a little bit harder than 25. We went in pre-raid BIS gear again. It sounds like I'm making a lot of excuses. That's not the point. Ultimately, I'm very, very happy with how we did on Magmaw last night. I think that night 1 of raid, we're going to 2-3 shot him. Even on some of our best pulls, he had a bug where he was facing the other way during vulnerability phases. So we were extending the fight by an extra vulnerability phase, which, while that only is like 30-40 seconds, that's a lot of mana and things during that time that we are extending and cooldowns and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, a little bit of a better comp setup. Replace one of the Ellie Shamis with a hunter, have the rogue be assassination instead of combat, and I think that fight just absolutely falls over. So I was really, really happy with that. We then went on to Halfus. Now, I was expecting Halfus to be a little bit easier than we made it. Again, a lot of these guys haven't seen Halfus properly for a while, or haven't seen him at all for a long time, since original cat. And Halfus is one of those fights where it is a 2-minute absolutely race to the end to try and do every single thing you can, and then the fight just completely chills out. You do lots of damage, the boss has lots of stacks, he has all the buffs, the Drake buffs up, and it just becomes a much easier fight. Now, we were struggling to get past that first phase, and I think a lot of that came down to inexperience and gear. We didn't have Profession still on the beta, and obviously we were doing this in 346 pre-raid gear. which is what we're going to be doing in Night 1. So please, it's not an excuse, I'm just trying to give you an idea of the difficulty level. I would actually say that Halfus was harder than Magmaw, which I didn't think I'd say at all. The way we ended up doing it, and we did get the kill in our current gear with no professions and things like that, so very, very happy. There was also a bug where the fireballs weren't showing ground effects. So, really, really happy that we got the kill. But we ended up doing it with still 2 tanks, which there is a 3-tank strategy you can use with low gear, which does make it noticeably easier. But we didn't really want to have someone go and switch into pro or whatever to go and tank for one fight. We had our DK take the boss and 1 Drake. We then had our Feral Druid take 2 Drakes and the Whelps, completely nuked through them, and then came back and basically swapped. And as soon as the second big Drake was dead, so 3 total Drakes, the Whelps and the 2 big Drakes, we then pulled out the extra Drake, which was stunning the boss. So to give you an idea, I believe it was the Storm Rider, Time Warden, Nether Scion and Whelps that we pulled out at the start. We left the Slate Drake. We did start with the Slate Drake, but I actually don't think it was better for us. I think it was much better going with the Nether Scion. And then we pulled out the Slate Drake once, most of the things was dead, just to give us some leeway with the boss. But yeah, overall, I think we did really well. We're going back in there tonight, a lot longer of a session. I mean, the raids didn't even open till 2-3 hours after they were supposed to open. So, yeah, go in there tonight and hopefully get a couple more bosses down. But if you like this sort of video where I go through what we did, what our progress was, maybe show you some clips and things like that, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. More videos coming soon. Bye.